Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. Folks, we have to start by talking about the price of Bitcoin, which is right now at $58,905. So Bitcoin, of course, has been in this pullback phase, and we're looking at the daily chart here, and maybe we found a bottom or maybe we haven't. I think we have a couple more weeks for Bitcoin to settle and then we bounce. A bounce will be coming, folks. When in doubt, zoom out. Market cycles are playing out here. And, we're of course talking about the micro, we're talking about the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. But from a macro perspective, we are in a bull market. I expect a bounce and for us to keep moving up to new highs and possibly a blow off top this year, if not into early 2025. So Bitcoin on the daily, its RSI is looking like it's found a bottom here. Now it could go further down. So I want to make sure I let you be prepared for multiple scenarios. We're talking probabilities here, not certainties, because I don't have a crystal ball. No one has a crystal ball, but we want to look at what are the next possibilities and what's the higher probability of playing out. So I think the higher probability here is Bitcoin is very close to that bottom before it bounces. The RSI is indicating that. And then if we look at the DXY, where, when the DXY is going down, risk assets like Bitcoin, the NASDAQ, and much more are pumping. And then if the DXY is pumping, the assets are going down. So the DXY is looking weak on the daily chart and its RSI is starting to move downward. So that's a positive sign. You have these two things moving in parallel, right? DXY is starting to show some weakness and Bitcoin trying to find that bottom. So I think once these two things happen, we move upwards. And of course, Bitcoin is the rising tide that lifts all boats. So as the liquidity enters in back to Bitcoin, it will start flowing down to the altcoins. And of course, as Bitcoin goes to that next leg up, which could be up to 90K or even 100K, that liquidity will start hitting many different altcoins. So here's some analysts actually weighed in and have similar thoughts, and I want to share it with you guys. So TechDev highlighted the following. He said the impulsive structure of the last 1.5 years says 90 to 100K is next. So what is he talking about? Well, he highlighted the chart where the market was in 2021 and what that fractal looked like. And then he's saying we're at that same point where the similar type of fractal could play out, which could take us up to about 90K, then a correction, then another move upwards to Bitcoin going to about 150K. And he included some Wyckoff charting here showing that this would be wave 5, where we've currently completed, let's say, wave 4, and then we have that final move up. I think this makes sense. Now, it's not a guarantee. It's not a certainty. And I say that because people think when I make these statements that this is absolutely what's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball once again, but I think this has the higher probability of playing out. He also shows the RSI potentially near that bottom where it bounces. So similar to what I was just showing you guys or telling you guys about here on the Bitcoin daily chart. So looking good. Peter Brandt, a well-known trader. He's been a trader for a long time, trading traditional assets before crypto. He said, if Bitcoin can hold these lows and move higher, the chart will qualify as a very common bull market continuation chart construction. So right now, he says here, we're in that dump phase, and then there's going to be a pump, right? Because eventually, you get to that oversold and the market can't keep going downwards. It has to bounce, right? These are principles. Same thing. It can become overbought with all the ETF buying and Bitcoin hitting its new all-time high around 74,000 just literally over a month ago. That was in a overbought scenario. It could not keep going up like that. It's not sustainable. Same thing on the other side of the token or coin. It can't keep going down in these pullbacks. So eventually you'll see a bounce. And I know this is new for some of you, but once you've been around the block in this market, guys, and I've been here for multiple bull market and bear market cycles, I've seen this before. And once again, we are in a uptrend, not a downtrend. So I'm not expecting a 50% crash or anything like that. Now, a black swan event could happen like what we saw in 2020, but that doesn't mean the bull market's over. I mean, the world shut down in 2020, right? In March of 2020. You guys know what I'm talking about. The markets tanked. Bitcoin had dropped straight down to 3,000. Then they started pumping again as liquidity came in. So guys, the other aspect of this too is the macro, and the Fed just this past Wednesday or yesterday said they're not cutting rates anytime soon. It goes back to what I've been saying since the beginning of the year, and I wrote that newsletter saying I don't think the Fed is going to cut any rates before the election to not show any type of favorability. Plus, the data shows, guys, that when they cut rates, there's something breaking and the market's correct hard. I'm talking like 40, 50%, that type of pullback. It doesn't mean the end of the world. It just means that's probably the end of the bull market. So I don't think they're going to cut this year before the election. I think after the election, and that could, be in December of this year or in Q1 of 2025, and maybe, like I said, this bull market could roll into 2025, and that's where we see the big correction, the bear market starts. So that's what I'm looking at, and I'm looking at these different scenarios, and I'm of course updating my thesis based on the facts changing, and if anything happens that is unforeseen. And of course, I have my sell targets. I'm going to start taking profits on Bitcoin at 90K, then 100, and so on and so forth. And likewise for altcoins, I have my sell targets as well. So we'll see what happens next with the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. But like I said earlier, it was at fear. Right now it's at neutral. And that's a good sign as we're almost close to finding that bottom. Folks, let's talk about the top trending tokens on social media. This data is brought to you by Sentiment, which is a partner of the podcast. And you can get a lot of insightful crypto metrics and data. If you want to sign up with them, check out the link in the description. You can use my code ThinkingCrypto to get a discount. First token that's trending here is Frax Share, FXS, and it has positive sentiment. Number 2 is Aave on Ethereum with a high positive sentiment. Number 3 is KuCoin token. So that's the exchange token coming in. Though its positive to negative sentiment ratio is not good, positive sentiment is at 45.83%, negative sentiment at 41.67%. Coming in at number 4 is AMP with positive sentiment. Number 5 is Go Network. The ticker symbol is GOT, G-O-T. It has bad positive to negative sentiment ratio. So positive at 43.02%, negative sentiment at 43.72%. Coming in at number 6 is Tether, TRB, with positive sentiment. Number 7 is Telcoin, coming in with positive sentiment. Axler, AXL, coming in with positive sentiment at number 8. Number 9, CoinEx Token, CET, coming in with positive sentiment. And finally, Ocean Protocol, number 10, coming in with positive sentiment. And remember, this protocol is actually going to be merged with Fetch.ai and Singularity.net. Because they're merging those 3 AI tokens to form I think it's the artificial superintelligence alliance. So I'm a Fetch token holder. It made me some decent money this cycle, and I told you guys in December 2022 I was doing that. It's going to be interesting when they merge these tokens. It might actually merge all the liquidity into one token. So we could see that FET token, which will be renamed to ASI, run up significantly. Not financial advice, do your own research, but I'm going to be buying the dips for FET because of this merge that's in the works. And once again, liquidity being pooled behind one token. So exciting times. All right, folks, let's jump into some news. We all know BlackRock is tokenizing. Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, said tokenization is the future of finance. They started tokenizing on the Ethereum blockchain. Well, we got news here that BlackRock Tokenized Real World Asset Fund, BUIDL, so BUIDL, has become the largest of its kind after hitting $375 million, topping Franklin Templeton's rival offering. Folks, they're not kidding. They're going to tokenize every traditional asset, stocks, bonds, even commodities, real estate, much more. It's all going on the blockchain. And I've said it over the years, 24/7 trading global markets, no more opening and closing bell at the stock market. That will be a thing of the past. It's not going to happen overnight, but you're going to start to see that phase out, folks, because crypto, like the crypto market, because of the blockchain and the real-time aspect of it, people are trading real-time 24/7. And we're going to see a ton of liquidity come into different assets that we're not able to in the past. You're going to have that borderless aspect where, some people, for example, in India can't touch the New York Stock Exchange, but they can touch assets on the blockchain. So we're dealing with a truly global asset class, and that's because of the blockchain technology. And it's amazing that BlackRock is already taking the lead here. They're the lead dog now, even though other players like Franklin Templeton and so forth started, ahead of them. So let me give you some details. The BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, represented by the BUIDL token on the Ethereum network and backed by US Treasury bills, repo agreements, and cash, now boasts $375 million of deposits after enjoying $70 million of inflows last week. Blockchain data RWA.xyz shows. The fund, created with tokenization services platform Securitize, has captured almost 30% market share since its debut on March 21st. Meanwhile, the Franklin on-chain US government money fund with the Benji BENJI token slid to $368 million in assets under management after experiencing minor outflows during the same period. The change in guard was largely thanks to the growth of Ondo Finance, whose tokenized treasury offering OUSG leverages BlackRock's token as reserve asset and enjoyed $50 million of inflows in a week. I really have to look into this Ondo Finance token, guys. Not financial advice. I'm just saying, when I see adoption like this from real companies, from TradFi and so forth, that's very bullish. You're getting utility. You can also invest in Ethereum because BlackRock is tokenizing on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, there's other players like JP Morgan and Citibank tokenizing on Avalanche. So this is where you want to do your research. Who is using which blockchains, and are these reputable companies? And I think when you see big banks and investment firms from TradFi coming in and doing this, that's a big endorsement. That's a big sign that there's going to be more value on these blockchains, which is great for the native token. So I hold Ethereum. I don't hold Ondo, but it's something I'm currently researching. So I'm being transparent with you guys, what I'm thinking, how I'm thinking, and what I plan to do. So this is very bullish news, guys. We're seeing right before our eyes the adoption of blockchains. So the rapid growth of blockchain's first tokenized offering occurred as putting conventional assets like bonds and credit onto blockchain rails in forms of tokens, also known as tokenization of real-world assets (RWA), has captivated digital asset firms and traditional finance TradFi giants alike. Tokenization could offer benefits like faster around-the-clock settlements, increased operational efficiency, and greater transparency. U.S. Treasuries among RWAs have emerged as a gateway for tokenization efforts as a low-risk, well-known instrument where investors can park their on-chain cash and earn stable yield without leaving the blockchain ecosystem. The tokenized treasury market swelled to near $1.3 billion from near $100 million in early 2023, propelled by, in part, of BlackRock's entrance to the competition. So, folks, just to summarize, how can you make money off of this, right? That what BlackRock's doing. Like I said, you can hold a native token of the blockchains they are tokenizing on. So I mentioned Ethereum and Ondo Finance. Second, if they start tokenizing certain types of assets that you're interested in, for example, I'm going to be looking at which real estate properties will they tokenize? Will they be tokenizing certain buildings in Manhattan, which are in well-established neighborhoods where the value will keep going up? Obviously, we know real estate continues to rise in value in part because they debase the currency, so the asset prices go up, right? We know that. So let's say they pick a really valuable piece of real estate and they tokenize it, and you are able to buy tokens of that real estate and hold it, which we know it's going to go up in value, as that's how the world works, with the based on a currency, and then possibly lend those tokens out, or create secondary markets and do different things. And eventually, like I said, lend it out so you earn passive income, or sell it for a profit. So that's what I'm personally looking at next. As they get all of these things finalized, they're going through a lot of trial and error here. They're testing the waters. So eventually they're going to be tokenizing rare things, artwork, different cars, rare cars, and real estate, and all these things. So that's what I'm keeping my eye open for, guys, and paying attention to see what are some other investment opportunities to make money here. Now, folks, we got some interesting news from Tether. Now, many of you have seen my interview with Tether CEO Paolo Ardoino. That was from like a month and a half ago. If you haven't checked it out, Tether has really positioned themselves to be in a better place than they were years ago. I've often stated they got an endorsement from Howard Lutnick, who is the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, a major Wall Street firm that existed before crypto. He said they have the money. Tether has done audits. It's on their websites. They do quarterly and actually monthly attestations, I believe. And they have been working with governments and authorities to track down people breaking the law and doing wrong things, because it's easy to do that with the blockchain, right? Well, folks, they're taking that to the next level. Tether enhances compliance measures with Chainalysis ecosystem monitoring solution. Tether has collaborated with Chainalysis, the blockchain data platform, to develop a customizable solution for monitoring secondary market activity. This is a smart move on their part, and we know Chainalysis, they do a lot of data and analytics and blockchain tracking to help to identify things that are not going well. So I think it's a great partnership. I think this is a big win for Tether, and it helps them to further, cooperate with governments around the world because they are the world's largest stablecoin. And of course, they're going to be bad actors who are going to try to use USDT for nefarious activities. Same way bad actors try to use cash and gold and whatever means of value transfer that they can. So you want to stop the bad actors. It's not the medium. It's not the technology, right? We know that. Unlike what Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler would try to paint the picture of, it's all bad stuff. Clearly not, right? BlackRock and all these guys are tokenizing and so forth. So this is a great partnership here. And some other context, it says here, the monitoring system could help Tether identify risky crypto addresses that could be used for bypassing sanctions or illicit activities like terrorist financing, the company said. So really great stuff. And this is what I've been saying, all along with the industry needs the clarity. They need to put these things in place, because there are bad people out there trying to do things like they are outside of crypto. This is just human civilization. This is society. There's bad people doing bad things. So we need to make sure we're tracking them out and kicking them out off the blockchain, not letting them use these things. But we know it's very minimal compared to how cash and other currency and means of value transfer are being used, right? So this is great news in my opinion. Now, guys, quick word from our sponsor, and that is BitGo, which is one of the top tier crypto custodians out there. BitGo serves many great institutions in the industry, such as Pantera Capital, does Dan Moorhead, Bitstamp Exchange, Bitcoin IRA. Nike actually uses BitGo's wallet service for their NFTs. BitGo has the following services, which include hot wallets, custodial wallets, self-managed cold wallets, and NFT wallets. BitGo has a top-tier insurance, security, and much more. So if you'd like to learn more, please visit the link in the description. Now, folks, Michael Saylor, I told you guys last week he was doing his Bitcoin for Corporations initiative, where he's helping businesses and corporations and enterprises be able to learn how to add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. MicroStrategy, obviously, is doing that. Tesla has done it. Part of why Elon decided to add Bitcoin to SpaceX and Tesla's balance sheet is because Michael Saylor helped him to do that and educate him about it. And Jack Dorsey, you guys know who Jack Dorsey is. I don't need to explain that. They actually, he tweeted out here that Block, the company he founded, is dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin every month. And he provided some details. Here's how your company can do it too. And Michael Saylor retweeted him saying each month, they will be investing 10% of their gross profit from Bitcoin products into Bitcoin. So, guys, I think this trend continues. And the name escapes me. I think it's FASB, if I'm not mistaken. There's a rule, like an accounting rule that was updated last year, very bullish, that makes it easier for these companies to hold Bitcoin. So I think this trend continues as these fiduciaries see that, hey, look, I can get a better return and protect the purchasing power of the cash we hold in our balance sheet and our reserves by putting into crypto, because it moves faster, right? Faster than real estate and the TradFi assets. It's like what Paul Tudor Jones, the billionaire investor, said: crypto, Bitcoin is the fastest horse in the race. And part of that is because it's a nascent asset class. The other aspect is it's global. Like I said before, not everyone can access stocks in different regions and markets, right? But they can access Bitcoin. They can buy a fraction of it. first truly global asset class. And this blockchain layer sits on top of the internet. So, and everybody now has a mobile, a smartphone. So the world is connected. They live digital, and it's easy for them to just buy a fraction of ETH, XRP, Cardano, Bitcoin, you name it, Solana, whatever it is. And many of these tokens have a finite supply, right? It's hard cap, especially Bitcoin. So that bodes well for the increase in value because there's no ambiguity or segmentation as to what is this market doing as far as how much capital is coming into the market. You see it real time on the blockchain and transactions, right? If someone's buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin in Saudi Arabia, you will know. Now you don't know who they are and so forth, but you will see the transaction value, and all of that is pooled, right? Now, yes, they can buy OTC, obviously, where some of these things are not tracked on chain. But the other aspect is they're buying a part of the supply. So the supply is then locked with, in their wallets and so forth. So you don't have this type of visibility and transparency in real time, timeliness with gold and other assets. And there's many times, borders for these assets where not everyone can access it. But you have an internet connection, you can access Bitcoin in the crypto asset class. All right, folks, that's the news. Don't forget to get a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto. It will help support me. And this is also a great book you can give as a gift for someone who wants to learn about crypto. It tells the story of crypto's past, present, and future, highlighting why FTX and all that stuff was not crypto, the Bitcoin ETF race, the regulatory battle. What does the future look like? Tokenization, NFTs, and much more. So a great gift, once again, give it to your friends, your family who want to learn about crypto. It's broken down in layman's terms, and it documents what has happened so far, guys. So grab a copy on Amazon in digital or in paperback. And thank you for everyone who came out to my book signing event on Tuesday down by the Wall Street Bull. It was at Station 3 NYC, which is a Web3 hub, guys. Had a great time meeting many of you who are longtime listeners. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for your support, guys. And, I'll try to see if I can do other book signing events across the country in different places. So if you'd like me to come by to, whether you're in Florida or wherever it is, leave your comments or send me an email, and I can see if there's enough people who want to come out and meet up. I can certainly set it up and have another event in different parts of the country. So thank you guys for watching and listening. I appreciate your support, and I'll talk to you all later.